There you go. Welcome to Q&A Thursday. Welcome, Toolkit Masters. Great to see you again for our second webinar for 2018. So really excited to be here. We've got a great question that we're going to answer today, one that has come up before. So I think it's going to be really good to reiterate some of those things in there. And also, I think it's really relevant for this time of year when you're just starting off with your team and you're going to start putting in some new hobbies and bits and pieces that you need to make yourself a success. So let's get this right from the beginning. Before we start, I want to know who's on and who isn't. So if you can just put in down on the right-hand chat button, if you can just tell me that you can see and hear me, that would be fantastic, and we'll start from there. I know there's a couple online. I can see that there's a couple of heads online, so I'm looking forward to seeing who's there. I'm just going to make sure that you can see me. There you go. All right, so who have we got? Flick, welcome. Hello, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. You can see and hear me okay, I'm assuming, which is fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to turn me down here. All right, perfect. All right, so I know that people can see and hear me. So let's start. First off, welcome. Second one for 2018, which is fantastic. We've got a great question that's come through. It came through actually last year, and I'm just going over it again because I think it's really pertinent for now. And it's all to do with having one-on-ones with your team. So we all know how important that is, especially on a regular basis, because the last thing you want to do is to get to performance review time and there's surprises, and you don't want that to happen, believe you me. So let's get on to it. So I've got a slide presentation here for you that I'm going to share with you. So bear with me while I get that sorted, if it works at all. Okay. We're not going to do the slide share. That's okay. Let's do this together. We can do it without the slide share. Okay, so the question is, how do I make the most of my one-on-ones and what should I include in those discussions? Well, that's a great, great question, Kristen. So thank you very much for that. So one-on-ones, really, really important. So depending on the size of your team, you should really try and get between 4 and 6 one-on-ones in a year, okay? So that doesn't include your performance reviews that you might do at the end of your financial year. So between 4 and 6 per year, one-on-ones with each of your team members. Of course, that depends on how many you've got in your team. Can you hear me, Flick? I've just got you on. I'm just making sure you can still hear and see me. I'm going to keep going, Flick, and you can tell me whether you can't hear or see me, okay? All right. So as I was saying, depending on the size of your team, you want to try and get 4 and 6 in per year, because when you come to performance review, you don't want to be any surprises. You don't want to be saying, well, actually you haven't been performing at the, at the standard you have, and you don't want that to be the first time that happens. And, conversely, you don't want to be, you've done a fantastic job, keep going. You want to give that encouragement through the year. So, that's what we're going to be working on today. And it's two-way feedback too. So the one-on-one that you have with your team, not only do you want to give them some feedback, but you want to get some feedback from them. So how are you doing as their leader? Is there something that you need to do differently? Is there something that you need to support more in? And also, is there something that your particular person that you're leading, do they have some interests of a different career move? So is there something you can support them with that? So is there extra courses, or maybe they need to shadow somebody in the sales team or whatever? So you can get all that information from those one-on-ones. So let's have a look at what needs to be in them so that we can determine, that we've got all that covered. So the first thing you want to do is review against the target. So as you've done in module 1 and 2, you have assessed your team, you've set some key targets, and you've got them achieving those. So you want to progress, you want to review the progression against those targets and make sure that, they're where they need to be. If they're not, then what support do you need to provide to ensure that that happens? And if they are and exceeding them, well, then that's the pat on the back that they're going to need to make sure that they keep going with that and they know that they're doing the right thing. So one thing that you want to do is review against current against current targets. The second thing you want to do, acknowledgement of accomplishments, and you know, making sure that you do give the accolades where it's deserved, and consequently you also look at the areas of improvement. So you want to be able to cover those as well. You want to get in early intervention if anybody is struggling with a particular maybe target or goal or task, is to get in early. That early intervention will enable them to you know, get the help they need, you to support them where they need, and maybe you need to give them a buddy to work with that does that particular task really well so that they can learn off them as well. So that gives you that sort of early warning, if you like. The third one that I want to look at is feedback on behaviours. So we're talking about results so far on KPIs and targets and things, but what about behaviours? So it's really, really important that people are achieving their targets, but they're doing it in a way that they're taking people on a journey with them. They're not you know, dragging people kicking and screaming and all that sort of stuff. So make sure that you have a check on their behaviours, and that the behaviours that are current to the company values that you're working for. So that's really important. So that's your third one. Fourth one, so you're going to discuss what's upcoming with regards to priority. So is there stuff coming down the line? Is there changes coming down the line? Is there going to be new policies or new procedures that's going to be happening? What are these things going to do? So this will help you with that change process. So you'll be able to get that early intervention with regards to those coming. So you can tell them if something's coming down the line, it's going to be a big priority and they're going to be a part of it, then that's something that you want to go over with them and make sure that they know what they're doing. Okay, where are we up to? 5. So discussion about any roadblocks that you might have, and then coaching on how to deal with that. So if there's stuff that they're really struggling with, if there is some bumps in the road that they're not getting over themselves, then how can you intervene? How can you offer that support? Not giving them all the answers per se, because we still want them to be able to learn, but obviously they're going to need the support to help get over those roadblocks. So what can you do in that instance? So make sure you have those sort of discussions, and make sure that you embrace people's mistakes, because otherwise they'll stop telling you that they've made a mistake. So if someone comes to you and says, yeah, I've had a bit of a struggle here. We tried to go in this direction. It didn't work. So then we had to change direction. That didn't work either. And now we don't know where we're going. Embrace that and go, do you know what? How great of you to be innovative and try those different multiple pathways. Let's see what else we can do. So you're embracing them, so they're not afraid to make mistakes. They can be innovative, but you're going to support them going further. So you want to try and make sure that you do that. Okay, number 6, continuously asking what support do they need? What can I do more for you? What do you need from me? Continuously asking that along the discussion is really, really important, because some of your team members may be a little bit shy in asking. They might be a little bit shy in telling you they're struggling in a particular area. But if you keep reiterating, what can I do differently for you? What do you need from me? Then that's going to help them, you know, come clean with that in the end. And that's going to be really important to stop any sort of roadblocks going forward. Okay, I reckon we're up to number 7. Feedback for you. So what feedback have they got for you? And be open to this. This is going to be, you know, feedback is a gift. So allow yourself to be open to it. What have I done really well for you? What would you think I need to do differently? You know, you can just ask those simple questions, and hopefully that they can be not nice, but truthful with you. You know, you don't want to go, oh, you're great. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, when really you might know yourself that there's things you can do differently. So, yeah, it's really good to get some feedback for you. So ask that question to your people. What can I do differently? What do I do really well for you currently? So you deserve that feedback. Okay, number 8. Any questions that they've raised in between those periods that you're talking to them? Maybe they've come to you with a few questions about things, and then how you've resolved those. And then go back and just reiterate, hey, has that worked for you? Have you come across it again? You know, those sorts of things. Because sometimes if they don't get that resolution, then they'll start losing trust in coming to you. So you just want to follow up that any of those questions that were raised previous, maybe in your last one-on-one, or maybe in between since your last one-on-one, has it been resolved? Is it working? Is that the support that they needed for that particular time? Okay, how are we going? Everyone keeping up with me? All right. And then any further development. So this one's really, really important. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I think it's really, really important for you to really know your people. What are their hopes? What are their dreams? What are their wishes? Where do they want to be in 5 years? Where do they want to be in 12 months? So if you're working, say, in a production department, maybe you've got some people on your team that's really interested in sales, or maybe they're interested in HR, or maybe they're interested in some other stream. So what can you do to help them progress on their career move? So what future development do they need? Do they need classes? Do they need training? Do they need buddying up with someone? Do they need to spend a day in the sales team? Do they need to, all those sorts of things? So what future development can you do for your people? Because I think that's really, really important to keep them on task, to keep them motivated, and to let them know that you care about their future. So that's really, really going to be important going forward. So have we got all those? Let's just have a quick reiteration. So review against your targets. Make sure you acknowledge all the accomplishments as well as areas of opportunity or areas of improvement. Give some good feedback on behaviours, or if the behaviours aren't good, maybe you need to have a look at that too and work out what they can do going forward. Discussion on upcoming priorities. So what's coming down the line that this person might need to know about. Discussion about roadblocks, and then coaching them on how they're going to remove these roadblocks. Support needed. So what support do they need from you? Feedback for you. So make sure that you get that feedback. And it's 2 simple questions that you can ask. What am I doing well? And what would you like me to do differently? And then questions raised. So any questions or anything that you might have helped resolve for them in the interim time, has that reared its ugly head again, or is that okay? Just revisit that. And then future development. So there's 9 key points there. Future development for the person. Do they want to go somewhere else? Are they happy where they are? Do they want your job, which is fantastic? All those sorts of things. So they're the type of things that you can discuss in a one-on-one that really will set you up for success, and will be able to nip in the bud any issues that are coming up. You'll be able to get early intervention on any roadblocks that might be coming up, and you'll get a real good insight on where your people want to be and where they want to go. So make sure that you have a really good look at that. Okay, so what's some other tips that I can share with you? So seek feedback from them when you can on their own behaviours and results. So make sure that you say, so how do you think you're going? Tell me about you. What do you think? So getting that might just be what you need with regards to providing them support. So that you might find they've got blind spots. So for example, if you say, so how do you think you're going? And they're going, fantastic, I'm killing it. It's hitting it out the ballpark. And in fact, there's areas of improvement that you want to talk to them about. That's a really good watch out for you to say they've got blind spots and they have no idea. So you need to tread gently in this area. So just make sure that you consider that too. And use some of your own examples to illustrate points. So sometimes just telling a story really makes a world of difference. So if you've got something that you think might be a little bit more of a courageous conversation that you have to have, just try and get some examples and stories in there that will help get that message across. So plan your time and the points of discussion so you're not just purely talking about tasks. Make sure you talk about them, how they're feeling, what support they need, feedback. It's just as important as reviewing the tasks that they're doing. So it'll give you even more insights and information for you to be able to lead them effectively. So make sure you do that. And just remember that your team need to prepare for this discussion just as much as you do. So it's not that they just turn up and tick the box, yes, they've had a one-on-one with their leader and they walk out, right? So you could perhaps give them a template or a performer to start thinking about things like, what does their career move look like? That you're going to be asking for feedback from them. You're going to be asking to review the tasks that they're doing, so they can have a little bit of a insight in what's happening with regards to the agenda of that one-on-one, and they can start thinking about, those things. Maybe they can bring some stuff with them. So it's not just you doing all the work. They need to come in with a bit of preparation time done already as well. And remember to use your coaching skills. So in the toolkit, you've got that Miracle 50 Questions booklet that's got all those questions in there. Use those questions. Pull out 4 or 5 of them, the ones that really resonate with you, and make sure you fire those off, because they're open questions and they will lead to further discussion. So it's not just you leading this, it's actually you seeking more information from them. So grab that book, have a look, pull out 4 or 5 of them, and then use those questions, because I think you'll find they'll really work for you. And I think in the past, what's happened a lot is the leader has set up the one-on-ones in your schedule and, you know, all those sorts of things. If you've got the opportunity to do so and you've got a fairly high-performing team, maybe it's time to turn that around and say, right, guys, I'd like to have a one-on-one with you every 6 weeks. Can you please put something in my calendar of where it suits you, and you can see my calendar and see where I've got some openings. I'd love to see you every 6 weeks. So can you set that up as a recurring meeting or something? And just get them to have ownership, and then they've got a bit of skin in the game. So then they're going to come prepared because it's actually come up in their calendar as the event organizer. So just something to be mindful of. It just changes that dynamic a little bit. Okay, so with regards to templates and all those sorts of things, yes, there's piles and piles of templates. I Googled templates yesterday just to see, and there is piles of different templates you can use for a one-on-one. And I've been hesitant to put a one-on-one template in the toolkit specifically because depending on what industry you're in, depending on, you know, the size of your team, all those sorts of things, will depend on what works for you. But what I've decided to do, I am going to do up a couple of just generic templates so that you've got something to start with, okay? So we'll make those up in the next few weeks. So look out in the tool suite. It'll come in there in the next few weeks. And we will create a tool and make it available to you. But it's not the be-all, end-all. It's going to be a starting point, and then you can change and tweak it as you see fit, because I think that's going to be the best way. You need to individualise it for you. Right. So Q&A time. I think it's over to you guys. What do you think? How's going so far? Is there something you'd like to do differently? Because there's a bit of a delay. There is a bit of a delay, about a 20-second delay. Okay. I've still got 3 people on, I think. All good? I think that I need to work out how to manage my one-on-ones with my manager. Yes, Flick, good one. So when you're talking about, I think I need to work out how to manage them. So looking at it the other way. Okay, nice. Do you think a template would help? Or have you got one? Okay. All right. So you're going to look at your preparation and how do you prepare prior to them. Fantastic. Well, hopefully those points will help you with your preparation. And if you need any more, give me a call. No, she would feel like she's not in control. And would that be an issue? Maybe you could show her this replay. Yes, okay. maybe not show her the replay. All right. So what I can do is I'll send you this deck that's got all those points in there. And maybe you can glean some information from that. And when I do get the template made up, and I have been avoiding it, I must say, because I just feel like it's going to be very individualized, but I will make the template up, make it generic, and I'll put it on the tool suite and let you know so that you've got some stuff to use. All right. Excellent. I think we're done. Flick, have you got any more questions? The slides meant to be shown during this webinar. Yeah, well, yes. And there were some issues with importing the slides for some reason today, and I ran out of time. So that was my fault. So that's all right. I've got them here. I can send them to you. All right. Oh, you've lost me? Okay. Yes. Okay. So you didn't see them because they didn't load. So you just got me. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know, Flick. I'm back again. It's nice to know you missed the first 8 points. Okay. I'm going to send you the replay, Flick, rather than put everyone else through them all again, because I did go through them twice. So I'm going to send you the replay There was only 9, so did you only get the last one? Okay, we'll sort that out. And I will send you the PowerPoint as well, so maybe you can work with that. Yes, I will. Absolutely, I will. I will not post that online. Okay, excellent. You have... Thanks, Flick. You take care. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. And I will see you all for the next Q&A Thursday, which will be next Thursday. Looking forward to it. If you've got a question, remember, make sure you email me at ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. Or go on to the secret Facebook site and ask away there, and we will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Yes, no worries, Flick, we'll do. All right. You take care, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye.